Today I'm cooking up tender pheasant breasts in a creamy mushroom sauce packed with earthy, hearty mushrooms. And to make it just that little bit extra special, I'm going to be serving it with a crispy golden potato rosti. Autumn is all about rich and comforting flavours, and this dish is both. It's elegant, it's easy to cook, and it's exactly what you're going to need on a chilly autumn evening. I hope you're all well. I'm Shane. Welcome back to It's Cooking Good. Pheasant is one of my absolute favourites, and the best time to eat them has to be autumn, specifically October, in my personal opinion, because you're getting the new season pheasants coming through. You can buy these from most supermarkets nowadays, and when you buy them, they'll tend to probably come in breast form like that, so it's already prepared for you. However, sometimes you're going to be able to buy it whole, and certainly today I do have obviously a bit of both, but I picked these up from my local fishmonger and game dealer, Fowler and Sons. Thank you guys once again. And they're doing a great deal. If you live in Bookham, you must pay them a visit. You can buy 3 whole pheasants for £10. So it's really economical. And I would say probably 1 pheasant serves 1 person, depending obviously how big an eater they are. But if you are certainly local to Bookham, you must go and pay them a visit. You can buy them either whole or already deboned and filleted for you. But I wanted to show you today how you can, if you do buy it whole, obviously take the breasts off here. So let's have a look at this. It's very similar to taking the breast off a chicken. So we're going to find the backbone here, and we're going to get a sharp knife and make an incision, following that bone all the way down, coming out here, and then again, just using the sharpness of the knife, gently just pull that away to expose that lovely breast. They're not that big on these. So as I say, you're probably going to want, depending on how hungry you are, you might want 1 or 2. I'm going to take the leg off here as well. And just cut through there. Just pull that away. And there we go. 1 leg and breast portion there. We only want the breast for this recipe, so I'm just going to cut it straight across there, and there you go. Beautiful. So obviously with your carcass, don't throw that away. That will make brilliant stock. We can boil that up at another time, so I'm definitely keeping that. Obviously here we've got our lovely pheasant breasts and our legs, and actually I've changed tact. I am going to use the legs today in this recipe. Why not? You want to check these, make sure there's no shot in any of this, which I have done. Obviously, you know, these were live birds, yeah? And they've been shot here in Wootton, quite nearby. And you just want to make sure that obviously no one's going to get a little bit of lead in their mouth. It's not going to hurt you. I've had it many a time, but just check it if you can. So to a pan, you want it on a medium-high heat at this stage. We're going to add a little bit of olive oil, and then we're going to place our breasts and legs in there. Skin side down. Oh, those lovely legs in there as well. And then I'm just going to season them up with a little bit of salt and pepper. And we're going to leave those now for about 3 to 4 minutes on that side. We're just looking for a little bit of coloration on that side. That's at about 3 minutes on that side, so I'm going to flip these over. They've got some nice colour on there. Get the other breast over. Lovely. Get our legs over, and we're going to give those about another 2 to 3 minutes that side. These are looking good to me, so I'm going to pull these, remove them from the pan, and we're just putting them into a warm plate while we make up our delicious sauce, and these will then go back in. So they can just sit there happily. Into that same pan, we're going to add a couple of knobs of butter. So I've just cut these into sort of cubes. 1 shallot diced. If you haven't got shallot, use an onion. That's absolutely fine. I just like the sweetness of that shallot. Just let that cook down for about 30 seconds or so. Then to that, I've got some chestnut mushrooms here. I'm using for this portion about 5 or 6 mushrooms. They're going to go straight in. Again, give those a little stir through. And we just want to sweat those mushrooms down, let them take on a little bit of colour. To that now, I've got a clove of garlic, which I've just finely chopped. In with all of that. Give it another stir in. I want some dry thyme. If you've got fresh, you could use that. Just layering up these lovely flavours. Once you're happy, the garlic's cooked through, I'm adding a little bit of flour, not too much. It's just going to act as a slight thickener for this sauce. Just cook the flour out, 30 seconds. That's it. Again, guys, obviously, depending on how many people you're feeding, this is going to feed 2 of us, but obviously you up the quantities depending on how many people are eating. That is cooked out nicely. Now I'm adding Marsala wine. If you don't have Marsala wine, absolutely fine. Brandy would work, or leave the alcohol out. We're going to go in with some stock in a second, and you could just go straight in with that. But I do like that Marsala flavour. Stir that around. Just burn off a little bit of that alcohol. We're going to cook that down for about a minute. That's looking good now. I've got some chicken stock here. This was actually one of those chicken sort of stock pots, not a Knorr stock cube as I normally use. Find it has got an even more intense flavour, but I don't want to overpower the pheasant. So I'm only adding probably about 100 mils there, because to that I'm also going to add some mushroom stock. Now here we're going to be adding in some mushrooms, some mixed mushrooms. I'm just going to use a little bit of the stock because you want to drain these off. You don't want any bits that come off that into your stock. So mix that in and then add in your other mixed mushrooms. Oh, wow. This is smelling and looking like autumn to me. Just now cook that for about another minute or so, just till it starts to bubble. To that now, we're going to add some Cavallonero, and I love Cavallonero. It's so irony tasting. Again, very earthy. It's going to go really, really well with this. If you get your Cavallonero, you've got the sort of spine bit there, or your stalk, should I say. Just run your hands down like that, and I just tear it up. No fancy sort of stuff here. Obviously you can, if you want to, chop it up nicely, but it doesn't make a difference. I like to just do it like this, nice and au naturel. And I probably want one more bit in there as well, because I like the stuff. Why not? That's it. Pull it down. That's it. Check this now. It might need a little bit more stock, because we want to obviously cook this Cavallonero down just a touch. I'm going to add just a little bit more stock. That's it. Lovely. I'm going to put a lid on it, and I'm going to cook it for about a minute to a minute and a half, and then we're going to add back in our pheasants. If you want to have the rostis with this, now's the time to crack on with those, and here's how you make them. 500 grams of potatoes. Grate them on your box grater directly into a kitchen towel. Once grated, remove your grater, pull up each corner of your kitchen towel and squeeze it and drain it to remove any water. Once you've released as much excess water as you can, grab a fresh bowl and empty your potato into said bowl. Add some dried thyme, seasoning, salt and pepper, as much as you like, and 100 grams of melted butter. Using your hands, mix to combine. Into a pan on a medium heat, add some olive oil, give it a little swirl around, and then depending on what size you want your rostis, you could do one big one, or as I'm doing, I'm going to do them into smaller cakes. Push those in, get yourself a spatula, push them down, shape them up as you like. Bring in the edges, and we're going to cook that on that side till it's golden brown. Once it's golden brown, flip and repeat on the other side. Oh, these look great. Once they're cooked to your liking, place them straight onto some kitchen paper just to drain them off, and entirely up to you. Eat straight away or they reheat perfectly. Let's have a little look on this, check how it's doing. It looks good, it looks very, very good. I'm going to add some double cream here, really enrich this sauce now. And then just stir it through. That's it, lovely. Oh. And then we're going to add back in our lovely pheasant, and we're just going to let that finish its cook in there. So grab your pieces, nestle them in there. That's it. Make sure they are slightly submerged. And any of your pan juices, obviously, never forget those little gifts. That's going to go in there too. Put the lid back on and let that cook for a further 4 minutes, I would say, until that pheasant is cooked through. That's been simmering away on a really low heat now for 4.5 minutes. I just want to check on it. For the breast, really, it's ready at an internal temperature of 64 to 65 C. For the thighs, you really want it sort of higher, 70 to 74, ideally 74. So I just need to check these, see how we're going. Yeah, I'm about a degree away on the breasts. And about 1.5 degrees actually on the thigh and leg. So we're looking pretty good. So a little bit more butter. I'm going to enrich it a little bit more. I'm not here for your health. I'm certainly not your doctor. So, you know, a bit of something that's not good for you is all right once in a while, I guess. So I'm going to put 3 nice knobs of butter in there. Don't judge me, please. And just give that a little stir in as well. It's going to really enrich that sauce even further. That's it. And I'm going to give that its final 2 minutes, I reckon. And that is going to be ready for us to add to our lovely potato rosti. So we are done here. Let's dish this up. I just want to, final checks, check that sauce for seasoning, just to make sure it doesn't need anything else. Oh no, nothing at all. That is lovely. Okay, so let's grab onto our potato rostis. One of our lovely pheasant breasts. Just try a little bit of everything here. And then, I mean, obviously I bought the 3 for a tenner, so we're having it tonight. I'm only making this small portion today to show you guys. Let's get some of that on the top as well and over that rosti. Yes. Okay. Move that to one side. And what I meant to say, guys, this is a quick way of cooking pheasant. Yeah, if you take the breasts off, take the legs off, and cook it in this way, it's a lot quicker than roasting it. Of course you can roast it, and I love roast pheasant. A bit of bacon over the top, chuck it in the oven, 180, normally 45 minutes, somewhere around there, or until that internal temperature is where I said between 64 to 74 C. Equally as delicious, just takes longer, and I do particularly like this sauce with it. And of course, I'm celebrating the autumnal flavours of Cavallonero as well as the pheasant. So let's try this pheasant. I've done enough talking about it. I want to see how good it is. Nice bit of that meat. I'm going to have it with some of that. Actually, do you know what? I'm not going to have it with the rosti. I'm going to have it on its own. I want to taste the meat on its own. That is divine. It's actually not that gamey. It's absolutely perfect. I guess the longer they're hung, the more gamey they will be. But that is just succulent. It's got a lovely flavour. Really, really good, guys. Really good. Right, now let's have a little bit more. And let's get it with a bit of that rosti and a bit of that kale. That's it. The trilogy there. Oh, and the sauce, of course. That is something a little bit special. The Cavallonero, that irony taste to it, it's got that real depth of flavour which goes perfectly with the gamey meat, but then it's softened down with that Marsala wine and the cream and the sweet onions. Oh, and those other mushrooms that I put in, not just the normal chestnut mushrooms, the mixed mushrooms, which have porcini in there and oyster mushrooms, etc., etc. Oh, they are adding a lovely flavour. And let's just try that rosti on its own as well. Make it fair. Cook perfectly. And just make sure when you do cook those rostis, if you cook those rostis, that the centre is cooked as well. And they're not just crispy on the outside. Guys, hope you've enjoyed this one. Another one in my autumn recipe collection. I really do appreciate you joining me. But that is it from me for today. If you're new to the channel and you like the content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Please also like, share and comment. Have you got a different pheasant recipe you'd like me to hear about? Please do let me know down in the comments because I'd love to hear from you. If you haven't already done so, check out Tuesday's video that's just gone out. It's another one of my autumn recipes, which is my pork with leek and cider. It's a quick, easy, speedy stew. I'll put all of the details of today's pan-fried pheasant and mushroom sauce down below in the description as always. And all that's left for me to say is until next time, it's cooking good.